Because even if we could get it to align to something we liked, it wouldn't be controllable in the future because safety doesn't scale, right?
That's one way to put it. It's reasonable, yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about today that you find particularly important to talk about this subject, or you would just find interesting to talk about that you haven't covered in your other interviews?
I think people don't go to the kind of extreme conclusions even then they understand the arguments. So again, the levels of superintelligence is never addressed. People may talk about AGI, maybe it will get something beyond, but they stop at that point, they stop thinking. So I think it's important never to stop thinking and go, well, what happens next? What happens next? And do it with all things you're discussing.
It's interesting. I was thinking about, while preparing for this interview, what I would be curious of if I had the chance to chat with Sam Altman. And I was thinking how it might be useful to design an interview in such a way to get to know his values and like actually get to know his values. But it doesn't really feel that important anymore because of the issue of containment in general, which is fascinating. But Dr. Roman, you've spent 15 years trying to save humanity from something you believe is inevitable. When it's all over, if it is, however it ends, what would you want to be remembered for?
I think I made a tweet once that nobody will be able to brag about correctly predicting the end of the world. If it's over, there is no history, there is no recognition, it doesn't matter. The goal is to prevent the end, not to be right about it.
I guess, imagine if some alien being came here and they came across your work. What would you want them to know about you, maybe?
Funny thing is, for most people without specialized training, everything I'm saying is obvious. Of course, you're not going to be able to control something a million times smarter than you. Doesn't even make sense to argue that you can. Of course, there is no such thing as perfect cybersecurity. Everyone knows that. We never made a piece of software which had no bugs in it. And the more complex it gets, the less likely it is to happen. If you look at writings of literally the earliest people in the field, founding father Alan Turing, he talks about the moment the machines start this self-improvement process, it's over, we lose control. Vinci, who invented the technological singularity term, talks about the same thing, correctly predicted a year. Ray Kurzweil talks about impossibility of control of something super intelligent. Elon Musk. That's basically the state of the art in common sense. I'm not trying to sell something really novel. I'm just pointing out that this is what we're doing.
Who first predicted it?
So interestingly, there was a writer, I think it was 1863. He observed that we're creating more and more machines and that it's time to really put them in their place and we need to control them. And his solution was to realize that we are the reproductive organs of machines. We make them. So that's our chance to control them. He didn't have computers or software or anything at the time, but it's interesting that back then people were already like, machines are getting out of hand.
Do you have conversations with your family about this?
I do.
How do you reassure them?
We're trying to find interesting pathways forward. We talk about, so I have kids who are at very different stages in their academic career. One is finishing high school, one finishing middle school, one is still in elementary school. And so the one in high school needs to figure out what to major in. And I don't have any good advice. I don't think any of the standard answers apply. If I say be a medical doctor and 10 years it takes to finish the degree and go through training, it's not going to be there in the current state. So we're discussing if university is even a meaningful answer.
What do you think you'll come to?
I think kids today, again, we're completely ignoring the whole kill everyone soon, have an amazing opportunity to use AI to help them start anything they want to start, a company, a podcast. You have access to a free lawyer, free accountant, free marketing professional. So it's an amazing opportunity to just go directly to what you want to create. And so maybe that's something to explore.
Ignoring the whole killing everyone thing, do you think there's urgency to make money right now before it becomes...
I see so many people doing the opposite. They're blowing their savings because they think it's not going to be useful to them in 60 years. As for ignoring the bad outcome, again, that's how humans lived our whole history. We always knew we're going to die. Average life duration used to be like 30 years, I think, at some point. Early childhood mortality was high. But people are very good at ignoring that and just moving on as if it's not true. Like you're going to live forever anyways.
Have you noticed your own life, like you do any different behaviors because of this realization that you've had?
It helps to prioritize. Like I don't do low impact stuff as much as I used to.
Give me an example.
I try to zoom out. I go, would this be useful in 5 years? Would I care about doing this thing in 5 years? And if the answer is no, I'm not going to do it. For most things.
Do you think the realization of AI may be killing us all, or the fact that we're in a simulation is more impactful on your day-to-day?
Again, I don't think there's a novel idea. So they just have new packaging. So the idea of religion and God and this being a test world has always been there. So people lived being religious for many generations. I think it helps you to put things in perspective. You think that maybe this is not it. Maybe there is more to it. But we don't have any details on what actually is outside. So until we do, this is all you got. And even if it's simulation, pain is pain, love is love. Deal with it.
If you died right now, where do you think you'd go?
I am cryoprocrastinating. I don't have my cryogenics contract signed, so probably not in a good place. I need to really expedite that process.
Not in a good place.
Not in a nice freezer somewhere in Arizona.
You think just darkness?
So, if we are in a simulation, there is likely a restart and you get a new chance in a new environment, kind of like rebirth, reincarnation. I don't know if you get to pick the type of character you're playing or not. Maybe. I have zero evidence for any of those outcomes, just listing possibilities. So if we have in the past successfully created superintelligence and got it to align with our preferences, and now it's basically a wish-fulfilling device, then that would make sense. You basically tell it what you think is going to happen, and it makes sure it does. So be careful what you envision.
If the founders, CEOs, building AI systems, and some members of Trump's advisory board and the other world leaders are listening to this right now, the people deciding what gets deployed, scaled, or shut down, what's just one thing you need them to understand before it's too late?
Don't build general superintelligence. What you have right now is not yet deployed through the economy. You can still make billions and billions of dollars deploying existing technology, benefiting from it, develop narrow tools for solving real-world problems, aging, diseases, and we can get most of the benefits from those narrow tools. We don't need to create replacement for humanity.
Do you feel like you have a moral imperative to stop this?
I mean, if I believe what I believe, I think there are people creating something which is likely to kill everyone. It seems like it's the answer.
Do you think you're the main character in this matrix?
Doesn't seem like it.
Who's the most impressive person you've ever met?
Elon Musk.
Why?
Most people think he's a genius in terms of creating like 7 unicorns, something like that. But his failed startup is OpenAI.
Why was he so impressive to you specifically, you think?
It's just so much more ahead of everyone in everything he does. Again, most people think 2 steps in advance. He is probably thinking in dozens. All his projects merge, all his ideas combine, and he keeps winning, where odds are close to zero.